Welcome to the program. This is What's Your Story? My name is Catherine Mwangi. I am gratified that you've made time tonight to tune into the show because we have one for the books for you. So we've spent a lot of time prior to starting the show speaking with my next guest. First of all, can we start with what I'm wearing? These earrings, she designed them, okay? She is full of life. She is into well-being, health, fitness, etc., and not theoretically. Life experiences have happened to just not her, but also her mom, and we'll get to hear about it. But first, if you were to give an introduction of what she runs, she's a creative force behind Poetic Trends Jewelry, which also had global recognition on Netflix's hit, The Country's Country Queen. How do I miss out on that? And she's also an accountability coach with fitbanker.co. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You look absolutely radiant. Miss Urvi Shah.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's your radiance that I'm here glowing
No. You just receive the credit and keep it.
Actually, I did a post about that.
Right?
Receive credit and compliments and accept them because we will forget them.
That's the thing.
That's our injection power for the day.
Now you're on a roll.
I'm taking it.
But your jewelry, this jewelry, we have lots as well she's carried, but we'll come there, okay? I mean, by the time your pieces are featured on a global hit and on Netflix, there must be something. And to imagine just how it's, I know the story, but let's go step by step. Let's start on the wellness, the health, the things that are super important. Not that everything else isn't, but everything else was birthed and has found meaning from that experience. Right? So, and that's why maybe your enlightenment was activated because it has always been there anyway through your mom. So what happened to your mom that brought about this change that we now see with you?
Yeah, so, when she was diagnosed with a tumor.
Right.
And this was COVID. So we couldn't really travel. And the only person who would have traveled during that time would have been me.
Yeah.
I was breastfeeding my baby. And I would have taken her. I am like mother, baby, two important people. And she was only 8 months. So, my son was 3, so he was still semi-independent.
Yeah.
But what it took was looking at the doctors here, the facilities at Nairobi Hospital. I'm so grateful. I was so grateful that we have this amazing caliber of hospitals, doctors, services.
Yeah.
And we really should be grateful. Yes, it was easy to say we'll go overseas, but there's a lot to think about when you go overseas, right? Here they support a family, love, everything. So grateful decision that we did it here. And then, it was a successful 8-hour operation to remove the tumor.
Yeah, wow.
But then at 12 at night, I get a call from the doctor. And they don't call my dad, they call me. And they say, Mom's back in the hospital. She has had a clot. And we're already in the operating room. So that means, whoa. But we can't go to the hospital because we didn't have doctors because it's COVID. You were not allowed to travel after 7 p.m. Remember there was a curfew at that time. So the whole night I just sat and I cried. And I cried and I cried till she got back to the hotel room. And this is our first reaction, right? Because I was just like, clot. Clot is a heavy word, right? And it's also quick. Decisions were meant to be made quick.
Yeah.
And so the first 2 days, of course, they move her to ICU and there's a ventilator. And when you walk into a scene like that, it's difficult to comprehend.
How old was your mom?
She was 70.
Wow.
Yeah.
So an operation. Wow.
At 70.
Yeah.
And she didn't wake up for 3 days, 4 days. But we weren't getting answers. Why? So, is it because of the anesthesia, the medication that, it'll take time for her to come, the brain will take time?
Yes.
But this was not a 1-day story.
No.
This wasn't a 2-day story. This one was a 3-day story. This was a 7-week story. She didn't wake up.
7 weeks.
7 weeks.
And there's no one saying why.
Nobody can know the brain. How many MRIs? You can't. This is now the brain healing and brain trying to communicate. But what was possible was several factors that takes a patient in this state is energy, right? Because nobody's communicating to her verbally. But what we did was, coincidentally, I joined this program at that point in my life. And it was all about, my goal was weight loss.
You wanted to lose weight?
I wanted to lose weight because I had had enough of feeling lethargic. And I was 2 weeks in, and then this happened. So I realized a lot about the program says, if you are the bank and you want to be the best version, so everyone around you can bank on you. So my decision was, either I stay happy, healthy, energetic, and give my baby the best milk and resonate like life is good, and the same to my mom, and that's what we did. So in the hospital, there was upsets maybe at night where I couldn't sleep because it was anxiety or like we don't know what's happening. But there's a shift in mind there was a shift. So in the ICU, I would be exercising, and I would tell the guard, like, look, because ICU means you see your mom for 2 minutes, and then there's a lot of protocols, right? So I tell the guard, I'm going to do my steps, I'm going to walk. As soon as the doctor says, I'll be back. I wasn't going to sit on that chair because everybody's crying, everybody's negative. And after 2 weeks, I said, I can't do this. Because we all became family, right? And ICU game is, most patients are in there for 6 weeks, 4 weeks. So we all became family. And what did it take to create new energy outside? So everybody's laughing. And that's what I created. I would say, guys, let's move, let's do our steps. There was a PE show going on, I think it must be KTN, or, I was like, guys, it's 9 o'clock at night. Let's move our energies. So I would be doing my steps. I didn't care. And I had to clock in 10K steps at that point. So I was really enjoying life because I was feeling good. I was creating my own endorphins, right? Which is what you don't realize. And that coffee shop there would have enticed me to now emotionally eat, but I would be having and taking the right food. So everybody was like, wait, what are you doing? And I said, I can't eat cakes every day, or whatever fast food. Let's create this. And everybody was so inspired. Till now, they follow my journey. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe this and I can't believe your mom, because we all kind of became family. And I think when you bring that positive energy, and as I said before, my mom taught us all this. Ho'oponopono. Subconsciously, I was like, oh, come on, another one of yours. But in the hospital, my brother and I created energy shifts. And meditative shifts and visualization. And talking to her as though she's listening, but she always told us that whether listening is happening in the space. So I think, for any person, like when they're going through the hardest health, be it cancer, be it...
You can tell them, this is your camera.
Whether they're going through, the worst times in health, they're banking on you at that point. So you got to shift. And luckily, because I was in the program, I had a coach, I had a mentor, and they said, you can't quit now. This is the time you need us the most. And I live by that.
So 7 weeks at ICU, she's not moving, there's no breakthrough. You're out there in the waiting lounge doing your exercises and inspiring everybody else. You have a baby who's less than a year old and another one at home who's 3 years, and a husband. Where were you drawing the strength to just be that person in that season?
So I think when you realize that you tap in your self-love, self-acceptance, and self-optimization, you prioritize you first. You wear the oxygen in the planes, what do they say? Before saving anyone, wear the oxygen mask first. And that's literally my motto of life now.
Yeah.
In the morning, I have non-negotiables. I will exercise. I will do my meditation. It's even on holiday, my kids know that at 5:30, even in Masai Mara, I'll go for a run.
What?
In the hotel. But it's a non-negotiable
Yeah.
because once you've put on the oxygen mask,
Yeah.
create your endorphins, create your happy state, you're a happy being. And everything flew. Everything flows.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what it took. And when I was happy when I was with my husband cooking. When I had a few hours, I was happy. So they saw a happy mother. They saw a vibrant mother. They could have been left maybe if I operated in a different way to be depression state.
Yes.
But
yes.
I wasn't that state.
No.
I was probably the happiest state.
So when the doctors finally released your mom, did they give any hope of, go do this, she'll be 100%, or what was the diagnosis?
So at that state, we weren't covered with insurance, number one. Ooh. So I had to be like a happy state so that nobody is stressed. My dad is also, he was very, this is, sometimes we're not educated on stuff.
Yeah.
Or not. And when she moved to HDU, it was like, hush, for my dad, a little bit. And let's do what it takes to get her ICU setting in the house. And now let's move forward. But the doctor said, we can't tell at this stage. She could be, there's a rate card they give you. And it's like, 1 is a vegetable state. 2 is like, maybe hope. But I took the card and I threw it in the bin. Because I could not, if I lived by those and went home with that, there was power in that. And everybody would have been okay. And that's what life I've seen is.
Yeah.
The status quo, and when you get okay, that's where
it's set.
It's set.
Yeah.
And you're just there.
Yeah, you've accepted
You've
it.
accepted. Maybe what's not right, maybe what society thinks is not right, wrong, be it in marriage, be it motherhood, be it the card of motherhood that we're given.
Yes.
This is what motherhood looks like. This is what a wife looks like. And when we accept that card, then you're not happy.
That's what has to manifest because you've accepted it, eh?
Yeah,
yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I realized.
Yeah.
And I said, I do not accept. So what it took to get my mom to today, 3 years down the road, she's walking. She's not paralyzed on her right side, which was already a red paralysis on the right side. And she's eating, she's painting, she's living at 74 now. A life, I feel like it's a new life. So she's been birthed a new life.
Rebirth.
It's totally a rebirth.
Yeah.
And I keep telling her every day. Like, we do a grateful round in my family with her every day when I see her. She luckily lives now in the same compound.
Okay.
So when I do see her, even if she's walking, like, what are you grateful for, Mom? Because they got to really remember, what are they grateful for?
What was that healing process in detail?
What she taught me was the power of words. And she would always tell me, anything I say that didn't work, she'd say, Urvi, power of words. So that was one thing.
Yeah.
Because everybody, I would tell the nurses, I would tell my dad, how is Mom doing? She's amazing. She's healthy. She's happy. She's healing. And I told the nurses the same thing, to resonate those words. When the physio comes, what words are you using? I had to train them. Because the patient, whether their eyes are closed, their ears and their heart is responding.
Yeah.
Mom always taught me about the auras of people.
Yes.
And she was a crystal healer. And, I was all like, yeah, voodoo. But I think at the end of the day, power of words.
Yes.
When you're sad and someone says, oh, you'll just crack and you start crying.
Yeah.
But somebody says, hey, there's a different language, you'll pull up. So
Totally.
how are you going to pull her up every day? So that was one thing that she taught me that I managed to apply.
Yes.
And my kids could see that as well. I still did a lot of research.
Okay.
So I went into YouTube. I was on the program. So the other thing was I sat down with a nutritionist. And anybody who brought food in the house, I really requested healthy food. Because I was on the program. But the state of mind is totally with what you eat. So if you ate too much of the food that doesn't serve you, my dad was on the feet running around. Everybody is totally in mode of 1,000 doctors coming in, and then, but how are you operating here is food. So are you alkalizing yourself? Are you healthy? Are you vibrant?
Yeah.
Every cell in the body is what my mom taught me.
Yeah.
That when you visualize and when you're not well or when you're well, it's cellular.
Yes.
So I would cellular heal her as well and talk it through her.
Yeah. Wow.
But food is what was key, right? So superfood, what are you feeding her through the mouth?
Yes.
If it's soups, it could be a potato soup. It could be or can it be a green green soup? When she exercised, at that state, there was no protein. So what proteins can I add in her diet that she is now, the muscles that are lying flat for 6-7 months are still intact.
Yeah.
So be it mixing lentil with soups, like we were on point with nutrition.
Nutrition.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was really key. And I did the best, and this is what I want to share with anybody. And I've reached out to everybody saying, we're so used to, like, when the left side is working, we'll automatically go to that side to serve food, to say hi, to do whatever. But I did so much research on doctors all around the world, and healing doctors, medicinal doctors. And one man who I could barely understand because he was in a state in Punjab and he managed to get on a call with me.
Okay.
And it was through these YouTube links that people keep giving
Sending,
you.
Yeah.
And I would watch everything and then opt out what's good, what's not good.
Yeah.
And he said, one thing that's going to alter her state is do everything on the side that's not working.
The paralyzed side.
The paralyzed side. And I was like, what exactly, And then he told me that when, if you start doing everything, this side of the brain will get numb. So do everything on no doctors told me this.
No.
Nobody advised this. And they were blown away when the whole ICU team, the nurses team, when I educated them on this, they were just like, wow, this is interesting. So everything has to be done on this side.
Yeah.
Right? And so even if the hand or the eyesight, even if the eye moves this much, at that point, the eye moving this much,
it's a victory.
Was a victory, but her brain is moving it. The brain is totally shifting. And now her right side, and that was a practice everybody did for months, and her right side is fully functional.
What?
Yeah, fully functional. Right leg, right hand. So I take a ball and I say, kick the ball, Mom. So her brain is kicking it, even if she physically can't kick it. And the magic is all in the brain. And these are the little things where I stand by, because if our mental being and mental wellness is strong, everything is possible.
So the brain is doing it, so it's only a matter of time before everything catches up.
It's literally magic.
Whoa.
It's visualization.
Yes.
And I did looked at a lot of paralysis documentaries, so much, because I couldn't accept it.
Yeah.
Because I still believe that we can heal ourselves. And be it a favorite outfit I would wear and I would walk, so she's forced to look at it. Be it jewelry that I've designed, I would go in front of her and show it. Be it her best yellow flowers, I would go and show it.
Yeah.
And eventually she started to move on that side.
Yeah.
The other side was okay.
Yeah.
So that was, and then she lost her voice because they would do that operation where she was on a ventilator.
Yeah.
And they say it takes months to bring the voice back.
What you do?
So my brother would chant with her every day. Peaceful chanting.
Yes.
Because you can't converse at that state of mind. What conversation are you going to have with people? So I saw magic in chanting, be it a prayer, be it a favorite song, because that opened up the voice box. So no medicine can open your voice box. It's practice. And her voice is back. And then you're not chewing. What makes you talk is our chewing function.
Right.
But because you're on pipes, how do you move the jaw? It's almost like you're reborn. So you make them laugh, you make them do exercise and yoga. So I know the therapists do that when the half an hour they're in the room. But the nurses, the family must make them smile.
Yeah.
Must create laughter, because that's another exercise mode.
Because the 30 minutes from the docks is not enough. It has to
No.
be a lifestyle. Everybody.
It has to be a lifestyle.
Yes.
And this is my lifestyle. What you do in a gym for 1 hour, but what are you doing in the other 23 hours for optimal living?
Right.
Is what I understood.
And then, well, I said, oh gosh, I know you have to take a break, but look, words. So, and because words are energy. And because she can't speak, she can't do nothing, she's receiving that, and that also is helping her heal.
Exactly.
When she got better, did she communicate about how everything that you and your family were doing for her was helping her? Did you get that feedback?
So I do ask her.
Yeah, and she says,
do you remember? But at that point, she still doesn't fully remember because the brain was still healing.
right.
So she wasn't conversing.
No.
So she doesn't remember that episode. fully.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's erased because the positivity kind of just like maybe erases all of that.
It's absorbed in her and it healed her. And she remembers the past, everything.
Yeah.
But it's just that moment
Yeah.
of healing
Yeah.
where she doesn't recall too much. It takes 7 months of total commitment. But my dad, till date, has non-negotiables. So rain or shine, at 6 o'clock, it's their walk time together, and they go to our community garden park. So habit creation is also what I learned in the program. But, you know, the family resonates with this lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's so the norm in my house now.
Wholeness, just embracing
It's wholeness.
Yes. Okay, so Urvi, continue taking your coffee as we take a very short commercial break. We come back, we find out how does this Kenyan lady get her business on Netflix, okay? And not just that, but also how do we, especially, so you kept hearing her saying this part about mom, put yourself first. And I know lots of you watching are mothers and wives as well. So we get to see how do you balance all of that? How do you put yourself first and you have kids and maybe a demanding career or business? So all of that coming right up after the break.
Birthing Poetic Trends was this, and then I said past, present, future.
Yeah.
From old energy to recreating it to new energy. I do mix it with beautiful healing stones or prayer beads. Whatever I do, there is a power of the subconscious.
Yes.
There is a power of words and visualization.
Yes. Welcome back to What's Your Story? I'm Catherine Mwangi. We're having a conversation with Miss Urvi Shah, Mrs. Okay, so we have heard in part one, in case you're just tuning in, and I would encourage for you to just go to YouTube after this to just see that story about how her mom's illness and now wellness triggered her own journey into the same. I mean, there's just been this, what do you call it, synchronization, I feel, of both destinies into wholeness. And she's also an entrepreneur, okay? So you see my bling today is from Poetic Trends Jewelry. And they were also featured on Netflix global hit Country Queen. If you haven't watched it, go see that. Then you'll see her jewelry. So we come to her life as a business woman. How did you start? And this is these are the things I want in my life. You know what I mean, eh? This is the things my life should be made of. Yeah, so how did you give birth to, and even when, by the way, because you were a carer for your mom, and then...
This has been running as a hobby.
As a hobby?
Yeah. So I was, after I was working with my dad.
Yeah, okay.
Who did antiques.
Okay.
And, you know, I don't know if most dads are like, oh, he was an antique dealer, but he didn't see value in the old pendants, and my grandfather was an antique collector.
Okay.
So there was a box full of this sort of like, they say gasia. The story is very beautiful, again, because I then started wearing these elements.
Yeah.
Because this is not just jewelry.
No.
This is from Yemen, Africa. they were collected, and this is what they wear. All the ladies wear.
Okay.
I'm talking about that necklace piece.
This one.
Right.
Okay.
So that pendant is basically Yemeni. You know, they wear it as their earrings or they wear it whatever. And I see beauty in this. I see craftsmanship.
It's like a chandelier.
Yeah, I see heritage. I see a story. I see art. I see so much in this. So I started creating my own pieces to wear for myself. So I would go to work, and a beautiful lady in a Seoul, and she's a poet, and her name is Sitawa. And she said, where did you buy this from? I would like to wear something like this. And I said, I've just designed it for fun. And she said, I'm coming in 2 weeks, and I'm going to buy a piece. And I thought, okay, really? Like, you have no confidence in even thinking. Even if people tell you and compliment you, how do you take it? That was our first opening line, right? So I said, okay, I'm going to push myself and I'm going to make a necklace.
Yeah.
And she bought it. And that birthed poetic trends. And trends is past, future, and the now.
Yes.
The present. So for me, this has Africa. This has our Indian heritage. This is a special art that they do in India.
Okay.
So I blended it with that, and these are healing our prayer beads.
Oh.
So it's elements strung together to wear it so that it's literally a story. And I love women, and women who love poetic trends is literally they're looking for that statement to say, oh, tell me, if you walk into a room, the women want a conversation starter.
Yeah.
And that's what poetic trends is. So you have a story to start an introduction in a meeting.
Yeah.
When you go into a meeting room, the first question someone will say, oh, that's a beautiful piece.
Yeah.
And already you're resonating confidence.
Obviously,
So I think birthing poetic trends was this, and then I said past, present, future.
Yeah.
From old energy to recreating it to new energy, I do mix it with beautiful healing stones or prayer beads all over the world, whatever works in my,
So the spiritual element is in your pieces, from what I gather. Because
Yes.
like these are crystals, no?
These are rose quartz crystals, those
Yeah.
are amethysts.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as I said, what's the future?
Yeah.
So I want people to wear heritage. I want this heritage to continue, craftsmanship to continue. I mean, that is my soul, and confidence. So a woman who's going to wear this is, now I want them to style up in a way that they're so confident with the healing properties. They're wearing everything that I am projecting in the brand.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So how did you get on Netflix? How did that happen?
So they were shooting a scene.
Yeah.
And I had clients, and they walked into that room, and they said, what? How are you MIA? And I was not that out there, because I was doing it as a hobby mindset.
Right.
And what shifted was from a hobby mindset to a business mindset.
Right.
So this was a leap, because I think we as moms, and then we're at home, we kind of get confused, right? Like dad's like, you're not coming to work because you got to prioritize your kids. But then that's the biggest statement where I'm like, hey, I am prioritizing my kids, but who tells you prioritize yourself? And this is like how my mom used to paint. My mom always painted when I was growing up. And this is intricate oil paintings. And she found the time. We were living in a family of 20 people. But where did she find the time to still be, to continue her essence?
Yeah.
And that was her peace. And that was her happiness. And my happiness is designing. So I just see that, when we have hobbies, be it a dance class that used to do hip hop at 16, we stop all that.
Yeah.
Once we get married and kids.
Yeah, you pack it.
Isn't that true? And I'm here to tell people, unbox that stuff. And I think the brand Urbi Poetic or Poetic Trend sometimes overlap, because I am one, and I've realized that when you find your purpose, and we were talking about this earlier, that sometimes it's within us, and when you strike at it, it could be serving other brands to come together.
Yeah.
And I'm loving that space
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
So collabing. So in Village Market, we've collabed with a beautiful Kenyan brand. She's
Okay.
also semi-Kenyan, Indian. She does organic cotton, or be it a brand from Paris who's working with local talent to create clothes which are super beautiful, and it's that woman that I depict. And we had another one where we discussed stories. So it's been an interesting space where the brand is now also in the same space.
Yeah.
And all of us have that purpose in us.
Yeah.
So, so sometimes if you close your eyes and you're not that happy at your workplace, or, look within, because that soul is if it's itching for something that you really were, and that's what I call swadharma, or that's what you call your purpose. What are you here to serve? So as you said, you wrote a book, and then you hear serving stories that are going to inspire somebody in the audience. Be it a mother saying, wait, you know what? I actually like this. I'm going to try it. The one time you try it, tag me in it, because it's going to become an addiction, a good addiction, right? So I think it's really important for us to really recognize our purpose.
Yeah.
Because once we do that, be it selling jewelry, there was always like, are you selling fitness or are you selling jewelry?
Yeah.
And it took me a year to figure this out.
First, the thing I love to hear the most is how your mom has like recuperated, and she's back to the things she loved doing when she was raising her family. The painting, and she's basically living a brand new life.
Yeah.
Literally, quite literally, it's like she had to die.
And I keep telling her that.
Yeah.
I keep telling her
It's
that.
what's coming out to me, like like she had to die, and now she's serving. First, she's there. There's non-negotiables in her life, with your dad supporting her. What are the non-negotiables in your life?
Non-negotiables are meditating.
Okay.
Every day.
How long do you do it for?
About 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
And meditation, again, is like grounding yourself. And another thing I learned was affirmations.
Yes.
Yeah, because to rise every day
Yes.
takes something. To rise in a different way, to perform, it takes something.
Yeah.
You can't just wake up and go shower and get out of the house.
No.
It takes self-grounding. So that's a non-negotiable. And 1 hour exercise is non-negotiable. Because when I either lift weights or my own body weight, I feel power, that I can make decisions powerfully. I can run everything powerfully.
Yeah.
So that really makes an impact, because number one, I'm in a happy state. Endorphins, walking, you feel good wearing whatever clothes you are.
Yeah.
But you're just feeling good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not even about size.
Yeah.
It's about the endorphins and feeling strong. So that's a non-negotiable. And alkalizing my body is a non-negotiable.
Okay, how do you do that?
So I do fast till like 11 a.m.
Okay.
And then we have an alkalizing smoothie recipe, which is full of greens and the right protein.
Okay.
So, I know everybody talks about protein, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We're vegetarians and our diets are full carbs. So what altered for me to be, so it's blueberries, there's broccoli in it. I'm happy to share that. Through the Fit Banker, it's his recipe.
Yes.
And it's worked magic. And that's what I fed my mom. The green goddess.
Yes.
Every day.
Yes.
It's got more greens and the right berries for the mind, right? Because they say healing for the mind is berries. And that was a non-negotiable. So that's my non-negotiable.
Okay.
And a gratitude round at night with my kids.
So what's a
And
gratitude round?
We all lie in bed and we look at the ceiling and we say, or we look at the lights in
the room,
in the apartment outside.
Okay.
And we say, what are you grateful for? And my daughter at 3 also says what she's grateful for. My son does. And husband also now does.
Why did you have to sign like that? Oh, he wasn't like into the whole gratitude
No,
round
and
stuff.
you don't force anybody.
No, of course not.
But he sees now the power of it. Because that's when they're opening up their emotions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can't ask a child how was school. That's like, you'd never get the answers. And emotional well-being for kids, how do you
Yes.
recognize that? And that's my way of knowing what's going on. And then I turn a question and say, oh, okay.
Yes.
What happened? And then they open up.
So is Fit Banker a program that, you know, people can join? Like, what is it?
Yeah, Fit Banker is a program. It's a 90-day program.
Okay, 90 day.
And it's like university, like
Okay.
What happened, it was a weight loss program that I signed up for. What I didn't realize is education, awareness, community is key, right? And the community, when you want to thrive in a particular spot, community is so, so, so important. And everybody wants you to win. So when I had the judgments on one side of my life, with the norm, our own people will judge us to stop us. Maybe out of good interest, right? But we still be grateful for them.
Yes. Yes.
I'm very grateful to all my haters, lovers, everybody, right? Because but there's a community here who's supporting, who's seeing that you are peeling. And that peeling phase happened whilst going through this, because I was on the challenge, I lost my 8 kilos, but I got energy, I got alkalizing, I got, the 6 pillars that are covered in the program. So sleep, nutrition, you know, so what are you working on? You know, we go to the gym and sometimes we just go and collapse. And that was my fail for years. But this, I maintained my weight for, you know, a year.
So you lost how much?
I lost 20 kilos.
20?
In a year.
Wow.
And I maintained it.
Wow.
With the lifestyle, I don't go crazy. I don't have time to go full time to the gym 4 hours, 3 hours. But my non-negotiables and a lifestyle change. Yes. But I see my lifestyle change. I don't really drink anymore because I can see the impact on my mind, my decisions, my being. And is it worth it? So anything I have, if it's cake or it's sugar, is it worth it? Does it serve me? And what do I serve others? I think those questions keep going on my mind.
Yes.
And, you know.
It becomes very easy to overcome that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So discipline.
So, yeah, and of course, part of that now goes back into poetic trends. When you start unpeeling your confidence. You might have confidence. People always thought maybe I was confident, but I wasn't confident to make decisions. There's a lot of unpeeling that's been done. And that's where we are. And I can see that in the business.
I know you've run out of time, but you have to share this one story quickly when you're in Sydney and you had a promise of a job that didn't, you know, come through. Called your mom crying, and she said what?
I left university and literally went, and I was told, I'll get you a job. And as soon as I got there, like, there's no job. So I cried for a few weeks. But then what had to change, I didn't know. But my mom picked up the phone and said, go now to the library, to the bookshop, and buy 2 books, The Power of Now and The Subconscious Mind. And 1 week, she told me, take 2 days to read it, do your homework, do your visualization, and tell me exactly what you want today, right now in life. And it was a new life, it was Sydney. I didn't have any friends, and I really had to think, right? So those books took me to where I was because I visualized exactly what job I wanted. And there's now, whatever I do, there is a power of the subconscious. There is a power of words and visualization. So I really, you know, step into and agree and tell everybody, what's your visualization? Because that really helps you to steer your boat. Because you could be on a boat on the ocean and you don't know where you're going. The oceans are there, you know. And I feel like that's life for most of us women. We kind of lose ourselves. And that's where I interact with a lot of women right now who are at that phase of 38. And we actually call it the 38 flower club. We don't give a flower club. Because you reach a stage where you just don't give up. You don't care, number one. But you also don't know what next because the kids are growing up and you've forgotten who you were. So this is why I say follow my page. And you know, I'm there as a stand so that we live happily as moms. So all moms listening in, like, you know, there's a stage where your kids go to uni and then you're lost. But why don't we just continue what we were doing that makes us happy from the start?
Exactly. Even as we build relationships with our partners, you know, for those
For them to be...
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So...
Gosh, I love it, love it. So look into this, take a minute and just pull someone up.
I want, you know, all the women that who are hearing or being touched by what I'm saying, to live optimal, number one, prioritize yourself, create that self-love, because once you love yourself, you're not depending on kids' love, husband's love, or anyone's love, because you have created that in yourself. So that's one thing I did create, and nothing can stop me now. And self-optimize, do not forget to wear the oxygen mask first. Once you are fully oxygenated, then everyone can bank on you, be it your boss, be it your business partner, be it your family partner, life partner, kids, parents, anyone. And the last one is serve and really go into your purpose, because you all have that purpose. So when you're at work and you find like this is what you're liking to do more than the other thing, be uncomfortable and go and do it. Because if you don't, you're going to stay in the same status quo, but you want to alter that. You want to live and thrive in everything you do. And that's going to benefit you and the company or your partner or your kids. So if you do anything uncomfortable, tag me on Urbi Poetic, because I am a stand for you. Always remember, and I will give you that push that is required for you to go on to your next step. Yeah. And follow me and my craziness. And yeah, you can follow Poetic Trends Jewelry, where we are also beautifully draping people with beautiful pieces that are really got meaning.
Exquisite. Yeah.
And each one is a piece.
Yeah. Like what I'm wearing is from where? Like.
So what you're wearing now, so that piece I have gold plated it. That was an old Afghani leaf.
Oh.
And then there's an aqua chalcedony and amethyst. And all my stones that I use are healing. I don't use every stone, but amethyst, rose quartz, they're full of love, full of good energy, crystals. And I love aqua chalcedony. So, you know, that's all good stones. So wear good jewelry.
Yeah.
Because that's you.
Yeah.
And when you walk into anywhere, every woman watches what you're wearing and gets inspired by that. So, you know, that's something that I feel. Yeah. That when I walked into the room to you, you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's how it was, yeah.
And that's what we want everybody to do. You want to feel that yourself. So, yeah, that's me. Reach out to me for anything. Yeah. And I'm a stand for optimal living.
Yes.
And that's my journey.
I'm so glad you came. Really glad you came. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for the invite, the warm invite, and seeing the vision. Yeah. Even through a quick Instagram conversation. Yeah. I am really happy to be here.
No, I'm glad you came, and it was such a worthwhile story because, and I wanted us to go to, you know, that visualization and how you just got your mom into wholeness. Even after the doctors had done their best and said, just go home with her. If it works, great. If it doesn't, so they didn't want to lay any expectations. But then something somehow inside of you remembered what your mom had been teaching you growing up, and you started to apply that. I think that's really powerful. I'm glad you came.
Thank you so much.
And I'm glad you tuned in. So look, if you're caring for somebody, a loved one, and you need her support, her page her Instagram page is on screen now, Uvi Poetic. You'll find her there. Just don't go through things alone. So you may not have the strength or even the mental clarity to just, you know, navigate challenges. She's accessible, and you can just go and just say, I don't even know what it is I'm doing. She'll be there. She will guide you through it, okay? I'm glad you watched tonight. I know it has made a difference in your life, which is what we seek to do, to inspire and to empower, and to just the end result of that should be to elevate your life in one way or the other. If you have a story you want to share, reach out to us. Our social media pages again are on your screen. Let us know. I've said before, 90% of the guests on this show just reach out to us on social media. So can you, because everybody has a story. So what's yours and why are you sitting on it? let somebody else hear it, because every story just has a point, a gem that could benefit one. Even if it's one person, that's more than enough. Okay, so the show repeats a Sunday at 2 p.m. but immediately after this we go up on YouTube, so go watch, rewatch, share it, and until next week, stay well and safe.
Gem Suites Hotel and Luxury Serviced Apartments currently boasts 2 properties within Kenya. Gem Suites State House Crescent, set in the exclusive State House neighborhood, comprises of 34 well-appointed apartments, and Gem Suites Riverside, set up in a secure, private and tranquil setting in the upscale Riverside neighborhood with 98 luxuriously appointed full-service 1- and 2-bedroom apartments, superior hotel rooms and presidential penthouses.